In the last episode of the podcast, we talked about the power of pausing, not as a luxury, but as a leadership move. If you haven't listened to that episode yet, I encourage you to go back and check it out first. It really sets the tone for what we're talking about today, because once you've paused, then what do? That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what it really means to move from survival mode into something that actually supports your energy, your time, and your goals. Welcome to the Mind Your Time podcast. I'm Shannon Baker, your coffee-loving host, business strategist, and systems expert. And I guide consultants towards systems that protect their time and elevate their expertise. So if you're ready to run a business that supports your life and not the other way around, you're in the right place. Each episode shares grounded strategies rooted in my Power in Motion framework to help you lead your client experience with clarity and confidence. So grab a cup of coffee or your favorite beverage and let's dive in. Are you tired of trying to hold everything together and ready to make a change? If you're shaking your head yes, or even if you said that out loud, I am excited for you and I'm glad that you tuned in today. That means you've paused long enough to notice that the way you've been operating is not sustainable, even if on the surface everything looks fine. And this is great. It lets me know you're not in a crisis, and I want to let you know that you are not failing. So the real question we're going to answer today is, what comes after the pause? And it's important to talk about this one because pausing is powerful, but it's only the first step. And this is where a lot of small business owners get stuck. They pause, they feel a little bit of relief, and then old habits start to quietly creep back in. Before you know it, you're setting new goals, which come with new expectations, and a familiar urgency. It kicks in and it says, okay, now I need you to hurry up and make something happen. And if you're not intentional at this point, survival mode slips right back in, but it's dressed up as motivation. So what we're talking about today is how you can move forward without that urgency taking over again, and how to turn that pause and what you discover into sustainable success instead of another temporary reset that was never meant to last. Because here's something that matters more than most people realize. Sustainable success, it doesn't come from doing more. It starts with clarity. Clarity about what actually matters right now. Clarity about what fits the season that your life is in. Clarity about what you are no longer willing to do that stretches you thin and basically makes you accommodate others. Survival mode trains you to treat everything like it's equally important. And when everything feels important, you lose the ability to lead intentionally. But you also have to remember, sustainable success is not about staying slow forever. It's about staying grounded as you move forward. And this is the part that often catches people off guard. Coming out of survival mode, it actually is a little bit uncomfortable, sometimes even disorienting. Because when you've been operating in that urgent state, or that's been your default for a long time, you can start to freak out because things are calm. So you may be thinking things like, if I don't do more, I'm going to fall behind. Or if I don't respond to my clients right away, they're going to be disappointed. Maybe even if I don't keep moving fast, everything is going to fall apart. You see, the problem is our brains have been trained to believe that speed equals safety and success. But leadership requires discernment, sometimes requires us to slow down, and we should not always have constant motion. So instead of you trying to rebuild everything right now, I want to slow this part down even more, because what comes after the pause It's not a full overhaul. It's steady, thoughtful decision making. So here's a simple way that you can anchor yourself without creating more pressure. For this moment, just this moment right now, I want you to focus on 3 things. 1 boundary you're going to reinforce to protect yourself. 1 commitment, offer, or expectation you're going to adjust to protect your energy. And 1 system, structure, or form of support that you're going to recommit to. That is it. No dashboards, no new tools, no big scary plans, and no pressure to get it all right. But these 3 things, these decisions are how you begin shifting out of survival mode and into something that gives you a more sustainable pace. This is where the definition of success starts to change and you control it. Urgency creates motion, not direction. And alignment creates momentum, which is what you want. See, when your business reflects your values and respects your true capacity, it doesn't demand more of you than you can give. It supports you better. But that only happens if you decide how the space you created during the pause is going to be used before your calendar fills back up, and it dictates that for you. And you don't need to earn space. You need to protect it. And protecting it does not mean doing less work. It means doing the right work at the right pace for you for the right reasons. This is how you shift from survival mode to sustainable success. Now, before we wrap up today, I want to slow this down and recap what we've talked about. 1, coming out of survival mode, it's not about rushing into new goals or fixing everything all at one time. You have to start with clarity. Clarity about what matters right now, what fits the season that your life is in, and what you're no longer willing to sacrifice your energy for. We also talked about how urgency often sneaks back in after the pause and is disguised as motivation. So when everything feels important, it's harder to lead intentionally, which is why we don't want that to happen. Because sustainable success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from you having space to make grounded decisions. You can reinforce 1 boundary, adjust at least 1 expectation, and recommit to 1 form of support that will help you right now. This is how the pause turns into progress. It's not through pressure, but it's through alignment. It's not through speed or going fast. It's about being intentional and slowing down a bit. Now, I want to leave you with 1 grounding question, not something that you're going to solve today, just something I want you to think about. What decision are you making right now out of urgency? The answer to that question alone can change how you move through your week because it invites you to pause before you react. Awareness without action, that's going to keep you stuck. But awareness paired with 1 intentional decision, that creates real change. That's why pausing creates space. Then you get to choose how that space is used, not by rushing to fill it, not by proving anything to anyone but yourself, but by making decisions that actually support you today, this week, this month, and this season of your life. I want you to honor your capacity. Let your choices serve you, not stretch you. And no matter what, remember, sustainable success is not built in survival mode. It's built when clarity leads and urgency steps aside. Thank you for tuning in today. If this episode feels like a breath of fresh air, it's because you're already craving a business that supports your life, not one that steals your time. If you want help spotting what's quietly draining your time and energy, you can download the Back Office Power Checklist at theshannonbaker.com/checklist. And if this conversation resonated with you, make sure you're following the podcast on your favorite platform so you don't miss what's next. We'll keep breaking this down together, one intentional step at a time. So until next time, keep calm and streamline.